Hello, everyone. This is Professor Sean Stewart. I'm your instructor for your online class for speech. I'm recording this particular video to go over the course syllabus. It doesn't matter which one I'm teaching 4 online classes this semester. So you may see interpersonal communication online on your screen for the syllabus, but it doesn't matter which online class you're in for me, whether that's interpersonal, the 16-week, interpersonal, I'm sorry, business and professional 16-week, business and professional 8-week 1, or business and professional 8-week 2. This recording is for you. I'm only going to go over the first half of the syllabus, and the reason for that is because it applies to all 4 online classes. So it doesn't matter which class you're in, what I'm going over is going to be applicable to your class. So I won't go over the assignments for your specific class or the course calendar. Those are 2 things that you can go look at on your own and at your leisure, but they are a part of the syllabus for your specific class. So let's get started. I do want to thank you and welcome you to the fall 2019 semester. I'm glad you're in my class. If you don't know, I am on the University Park campus. I know a couple of you don't go to UP, but you have signed up for this online class. My specific office is at University Park. So if you're ever in the area and you want to come say hi, if you want to come ask me a question, you want to come see me, that's totally cool. I've had online students do that before. But my office is Building 13, office number 802 in the faculty suite. And I am on campus during these particular hours. I should really change this to student hours because office hours are essentially when I'm just sitting in my office waiting for you to come by to say hi or to ask questions. So if I know you're in an online class, but if you do want to come up on campus, all you have to do is let me know. But something specifically I made for my online classes, probably started this 2 years ago, was D2L chat. Um, every Tuesday, we won't do it today because it's the first week of class, but every Tuesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., I will be on D2L chat. There's a chat feature and function in your D2L. I will open it up for your class, and all you have to do is just log in and you can ask me a quick question. The reason I started doing that, it was easier access than email. And not only that, you can get your questions answered in real time. So I'll send an announcement to the class before our first D2L chat, which will be next Tuesday. You should all send me emails in D2L. This is my D2L address. You can always get it while you're in the email section of D2L. This is my faculty email that I ask that you only use for emergencies. The reason I say that is because we get so many emails, most of them unnecessary, from administration that yours will probably get lost. Administration doesn't send me emails to my D2L email, only my students do. So we'll talk a little bit more about email later on in this recording. For this particular class, your textbook, I have already sent the class an email explaining if you bought an access code from the library at the University Park campus, maybe you got an access code from Amazon, I encourage you, if you haven't scratched it yet, to take it back and get your money back. You want to go through my link that I have provided for you for your specific class. So whichever class you're in, if you go to the Content tab of D2L, you will see a folder called McGraw-Hill Textbook Information. Go into that folder and you'll see a link that says Start Here for Connect Access. That's how you get registered for the Connect textbook that will automatically sync to my class. So that's how I want you to do that, regardless of which class you're in. And as the email stated, you get 2 free weeks. So even if you can't afford the Connect textbook just yet, and you don't get paid until this Friday or next Friday, well, guess what? You can sign up anyway because you get 2 free weeks of access that is still applicable to my class. Remember, this is an online class, so we do have discussion boards where you're going to have some collaborative discourse. All I ask is that you be civil. This is not a discussion board or a class where you can get on your soapbox and preach to people, force your values and opinions. You're allowed to mention them, of course, if they're applicable to the topic that we're talking about. But something I don't want you to think is that this is a moment for you to get on your soapbox about a certain particular subject. We want to stay civil and we want to stay on topic with those discussion boards. And we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. You have decided to take an online class for whatever reason. Maybe it's easier for you in your schedule. Maybe it works out for you in terms of your job, your children, your family, whatever functions you have going on in your life. But one thing I do want you to be aware of is taking an online course doesn't mean just logging in every so often or coming in November or December and just hurrying and doing all your assignments right then and there. There are due dates, there are assignments that you have to keep up with, there's a calendar you have to keep up with. So I'm expecting, no matter which class you're in, that you're actually logging into the system pretty regularly. When I say regularly, I mean at least once every other day is going to behoove you to log into the system that in that amount of time. That way you're not missing anything. That way you're not behind. The one thing you want to do, if you find yourself saying, I can only log in maybe once or twice a week, then we got to ask some questions. Why is that? Is it you're working too much? Is an online class the right class for you? So we got to figure something out there. As mentioned, if you do not complete the syllabus quiz by the due date, and I believe I changed all of my online classes. I don't know if any of you caught that. The due date was actually supposed to be on Thursday at 11:59 p.m. I went ahead and extended the due date to September 3rd. So I believe it's September 3rd. So that way, when I come into my office on Wednesday, September the 4th, if you have not taken the syllabus quiz by that particular time, then you will be dropped from the class. So it's expected that you take that syllabus quiz. Not only does it show me that you have actually read the syllabus or at least perused it, but you understand what's expected of you in this class if you do not take the syllabus quiz. And I've had students in online classes who do the course introductions, but for some reason fail to take the syllabus quiz. Well, the course introductions aren't required, the syllabus quiz is. So if you do not take the syllabus quiz by the due date, you will be withdrawn from the course. Most of my communication, I shouldn't say most, all of my communication with you will be via email in D2L. It's expected that you know how to send an email to a professor with a proper subject line actually filled out and not just the default of the class. You are giving me an introduction. Hi, Professor. This is Mary from your online business and professional class. And then go into the nature of your email and then give give an ending. Sincerely, Mary. Remember, my name is not hey, my name is not yo. You should not be sending text lingo in an email. I'm not expecting a business email like we work for Exxon, but I am expecting something just a little bit more professional than what you would send your friends. For some chapters, I will create videos or quick hits. Some of them I have created in the past and I just continue to use them because they're still applicable to what we're discussing. I will create a folder in the content tab of D2L called quick hit to where I will upload these YouTube videos. Here's the deal. I can see on my end if you have clicked on these videos and watched them. I'm going to be honest. Some students have told me, no, I didn't watch any of the videos. And then I respond, well, that's probably why you got the final exam score that you did. It's not expected that I take that back. It is expected that you watch these videos, but it's not something I'm going to go back and double check to make sure that you did or you didn't. I post them because they're supplemental, they're not required, but it probably benefits you to watch these particular videos. All these videos do is go over a certain subject or a certain concept that I want to discuss further because I don't believe your textbook goes further in depth or because your textbook doesn't touch on it and it's very applicable to the chapter that we are discussing. So once again, these videos will be located in a quick hit file folder in the content tab of D2L. As I said before, they're supplemental, so it's not required that you view them, but it will benefit you if you do view them. All assignments are due at Central Standard Time. I had to put that in the syllabus. I had a student a couple semesters ago who was in Alaska, and she kept wondering why she was late. Well, she was uploading her assignments by 11:59 p.m. that time and not 11:59 p.m. Central Time. So they're all due Central Time. Do not email me assignments unless I specifically ask for you to. All of your assignments are going to be uploaded via a Dropbox. The only way I'll ask you to email me an assignment is if you email me first and explain to me why you can't turn it in by the assigned due date on the Dropbox. There are no makeup exams in this course. As I said before, it's expected that you have access to online, not having you, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here, but you chose an online class. So if you come back to me and say, I don't have online access, my first response is, then why did you have an online class? Yes, I understand there are power outages by AT&T, Comcast, whatever else other internet service there are out there. I understand all of that, but you have to also be aware there are 6 campuses in the Lone Star College system, multiple center locations, multiple satellite locations with thousands of computers on those locations. And I have never heard of a time where all of the every single campus was down when it came to online system and services. So it's expected that you have online access, and if you don't have online access, you got to find a way to go get it because you decided to take an online class. If something happens in Connect, though, to where you can't see something, you can't submit something, and I will be honest, I've actually had more issues with Connect than I have with D2L. First things first, if there's an issue with D2L, I, as the professor, am the first person to get notified. Besides yesterday, and if you're yesterday being Monday, the first day of class, if you notice yesterday, D2L was kind of slow. That's actually, to me, if I think about it, that's the first time we've actually had an issue with D2L in probably 4 years. So remember, we as faculty members, we as your professors are the first people to know about D2L. If you have an issue with D2L, more often than not, it's just your internet connection. However, with Connect, I've had multiple problems with Connect. So what I expect of you with Connect is to contact their IT department, which is located, and their contact information is on one of the PowerPoints for signing up for Connect. Contact them, you get a reference number, and then you email me back with whatever the issue is, and then what the reference number is. I'll take the reference number, I will contact Connect myself, and essentially ask, is this a legit issue or is it not? More often than not, it's a legit issue. So if you have a problem with Connect, first thing you should do is, and I've had students say, email me and say, Professor, I am contacting Connect because something's wrong on my end. I'll wait for them to send me a reference number. They send me the reference number and everything works out. So don't be afraid to do that as well. As I said before, it's your responsibility to log into D2L and connect every day. If you have some sort of issue with me as your professor, the first person you should come to is me. And we will talk about it, whether that's via email. If I need to set up a phone call, we will do that. And I've had a couple of students do that over the course of my teaching career. They'll set up a time where they can call me and ask some questions about their success or some issue they might be having with, say, a group project or something along those lines. Our department chair is Dave Gare. His office is on the 12th floor, I'm sorry, building 12 on the 6th floor of University Park, and that's also where the dean's office is located. If you have some sort of issue with me, the first person you should come to is me. I guarantee you we will work it out. What I don't guarantee is that you will like my answer. If for some reason you and I don't work it out, then you go to the department chair. And then if you and he don't work it out, then you go to the dean. What we're trying to prevent is you first going straight to the department chair or the dean without discussing your issue with the professor first. Think about it like this. If you worked in the meat department at your local HEB, you can't go straight to that guy that's on the HEB commercials with the glasses to complain about your supervisor in the meat department at your local HEB. You got to go through the chain of command first. You're going to hear me harp on this a lot, and if you're in my oh no, none of the classes do it. That's my face-to-face classes do this. They do a group project centered around this, but there's a big harp about basic need among college students at the community college level and at the four-year institution level. We're getting more and more research showing us that you guys are paying a lot in tuition, and when you consider how much you're paying in tuition and books, it's not leaving enough funds for you to just live. And when I say live, I'm talking about having food, shelter, clothing, things of that nature. I was telling the face-to-face classes yesterday, we have, I guess caught is the only word I can use here. We have caught multiple students living in their cars in the parking garages at UP. We know of tons of students over the past couple of years on all 6 campuses that struggle with what they're going to eat tonight. And it's not a matter of picking between Chick-fil-A and Chili's. It's a matter of they don't have the money to eat. So if you have any issues regarding that, any counseling issues, please contact me because we do have services available for you. You're paying for that with your tuition, and we're paying for that out of our pocket here at Lone Star College so that we can help you, the student, and we want to help you. For every syllabus, there's a frequently asked questions. You can just, these are a couple of questions over the last several years that I've come to know as the most frequent being asked. You can just look at that at your leisure. And then going into the assignments, the only one assignment that I'll discuss in this video that is applicable to all online classes is the discussion boards. So, a couple of you have already emailed saying that you didn't realize the discussion board had a 500-word minimum requirement and that you didn't do that for your class introduction. Do not worry. The 500-word minimum isn't applicable to your course introduction, so you're totally fine there. But it is applicable to all the other message boards. And I know what you're thinking. 500 words seems like a lot to write, but trust me on this. When you look at the questions that I am asking you, you will be able to write 500 words in maybe 10, 15 minutes because you'll start to see the words just flow out because the questions I'm asking you are based on experience, examples of your personal experience. So 500 words may seem like a lot on paper, but when you look at the questions that I have for you in the discussion boards, you're going to see that the words just flow out pretty freely, and it shouldn't take you more than 15, 20 minutes to just write your response for the questions on the discussion boards. So a minimum of 500 words for your initial post. And take a look at the video that I'm also going to send to the class called Navigating D2L and Connect, and that will show you more what I mean by your initial post. But your initial post is the response to the questions that I'm asking you and the discussion board itself. You have a first post due date. You will see this posted in the discussion board and on the course calendar. Your reply to my discussion board questions must be posted by the first post due date. If you don't post it by then, -5 right off the bat before I even start grading. If you do not meet the minimum word count of 500 words, and it's not 500 words per question, it's 500 words total for all questions. So some of the discussion boards will have 2 questions, some will have 3, and answering all 3 or both questions 1 and 2, your responses need to total 500 words, not 500 words per question. You also need to reply to 2 of your classmates before the closing or the locking of the discussion board. Each reply must have a minimum of 150 words. This is to prevent you from just saying, "Good job, John, I agree." There needs to be some depth and some analysis as to why you agree or disagree with John and what you found profound in John's posting. If you only meet the minimum of 150 words for one of your replies, but not both, it's still -3. So -3 if you do not meet the requirements for the replies to the post of your classmates. And then there's just some ways to stay on task when doing discussion boards at the college level, and I'll allow you to read that on your own. And as I said before, the rest of the syllabus, no matter if you're in the business and professional or the interpersonal class, goes on to just look at your assignments. Something I do want to point out, in every class, I have initiated what I call a crap happens clause. So each one of you have something different in regards to your crap happens clause, whether you're in interpersonal or you're in business and professional. This is new for me this year. I'm just starting it, so we're going to tinker around with it, and you guys are kind of like my guinea pigs when it comes to this. Every student in this class has 7 crap happens days. So if you see an assignment coming up that you know I'm not going to be able to finish it in time before the Dropbox closes. You just politely email me, Professor Stewart, I would like to use 2 of my crap happens days on this assignment, or 5, or all 7, or 1. And so essentially, you yourself are making up the new due date. I will respond back. Your crap happens days are accepted. Your new due date is blank. Then you have to send the assignment in or complete the assignment by the new due date that essentially you have set yourself. If you don't meet it, you cannot come back and say, can I use more crap happens days? If you don't meet it by the new due date that you have set, then it's an automatic 0. You do not have to keep track of your crap happens days. I will keep track of that on my end. The only thing across the board on all classes is you cannot use them on the final exam. Business and professional, you have a different variation on your crap happens days. You still have 7, but there are certain assignments that we do in that class as well that you cannot use your crap happens days on. And finally, I take plagiarism very seriously. It is pretty easy to plagiarize in an online class. If you do plagiarize, the first offense will result in you getting a 0, and I will send an email to you explaining why you got a 0 and what happens next. If you plagiarize on a second assignment, then you will be given an automatic F for the class and will be reported to the Vice President of Student Services and to the President, where most likely you will be kicked out of Lone Star and never asked to come back. This is coming down from both the president of Lone Star College, the president of University Park, as well as the chancellor. He's very big on this as well. Okay. And also, every class is unique in regards to their withdraw date. So if you need to withdraw the class or drop the class for any reasons, just check out that policy in the course syllabus. Please, 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 before you drop the class, send me an email explaining your thoughts of why you think you need to drop. In my experiences, more often than not, you are overreacting. But I can understand if it's a family issue or life issue for dropping. But if you're dropping my class because of a certain grade that you're afraid you're going to make, please send me an email first, and I will be glad to analyze that with you. So now I want to go to something I call online myths when it comes to taking an online course. It says summer session right there, but it's really meant for the fall. My goal for you in this particular class, no matter which online class you're taking for me, is to elevate your level of thinking and increase your critical thinking. Critical thinking, understanding why and understanding how. Couple of myths about online courses. They are work at your own pace. That's a myth. That is false. They are not work at your own pace. There are due dates and due dates for assignments, just like the face-to-face classes as well. I've heard some students say, well, there's more work in online. And then I've heard some students say, no, there's less work in online. And my response to that is, no, it's the same work. It's just delivered in a different format. The discussion boards are interesting because students always ask, well, why do we have to do the discussion boards? And my response is, well, that takes the place of class discussion. So in a face-to-face class, there's class discussion, participation, there's group work to think about some things, there's activities, things of that nature. The discussion board takes the place of that in an online class. And as I've heard other students say, online's easier or harder, I say that's false as well. Online classes are just delivered in a different channel. So if you're taking, I should say fall 8-week session, not summer. If you're taking a fall 8-week session, your entire semester is compressed into 8 weeks. Everyone else is just a regular 16-week semester. Not logging in for even just a day can get you behind, so be aware of that. You want to be aware of your health, your jobs, and your family. If something comes up, remember, they come first. I'm not telling you to drop the class if that comes up automatically. What I am saying, if something comes up that's really urgent in regards to your job, your family, or your health, it's okay to drop the class and retake it the next semester. But if this class is causing you to feel anxiety or depression, not even just this class, if you're just feeling like that because of life in general, please contact me so we can get you get you to the places that you need to be seeing, the people that you need to be talking to. As I said before, Your tuition is paying for it, so why would you not want to do that? There are avenues across the Lone Star College spectrum that can help you and are designed to help you. But once again, this is an online class, so having a computer issue is not an excuse. And I want to touch base on this just a tad bit. I know a lot of you out there are trying to use your phone for all of this. I do believe Connect has an app. I'm not too sure if D2L has an app. I'll try to find that out tomorrow. But sometimes using your phone to complete assignments on both D2L and Connect isn't going to give you the best outcome. I'll just put it like that. So finally, as you notice throughout the course calendar, some assignments will be open on holidays, but it's not expected that you work on holidays. I think the only major holidays we have during this semester are Labor Day and Thanksgiving. And then everything will be open soon. All modules and Connect readings are actually open. So all discussion boards, all Connect readings are open. The only thing that's not open in Connect are the exams. Those will be open by the end of the week. And then I will be posting all assignments and all drop boxes within the next 2 weeks, but it's not expected that you work ahead, but you can if you want to. So if you have any questions about this particular class, about the course syllabus, as I said before, look at the course calendar and the assignments specifically for your class. And if you have any questions about those, do not hesitate to ask.